Hello everybody, welcome back to another video of Fantastic Talks. I am back to bring yet another Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero video today for you guys. This is a bit of a spontaneous video I'm doing today because we have had a bit more news to do with the game and because there's been some new scans from the V-Jump pages for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, showcasing a bit more characters, basically screenshots from the latest trailer we saw, as well as showcasing Piccolo's special beam cannon, Yamcha doing his Wolf Fang Fist, as well as we've got a translation for these pages, because obviously there hasn't been an official translation for the information we see here, at least not yet. But recently we did have someone translate the information. Not sure for the life of me who it was that translated this. I'm not sure who to give credit to for this. But my source of information comes from Shonen Games on Twitter, Hype on Twitter. They're very well known for sharing news and stuff like that for Dragon Ball. So I will link their pages below in the description if you want to see more info for yourselves. But the translation that we do have here, just to sort of keep this brief, over a decade later, the epic series took the world by storm is back. #1 Sparking series, latest entry is finally unveiled. The charm of the series is its overwhelming number of playable characters and high-level actions and skills reproduced in the game. So that's something I really wanted to get into because what's also trending at the moment is an example character roster from, I want to say, Eon Penico on Twitter. I'm not sure if I'm saying that name right. And basically what's been put together here is potential characters that we're going to be seeing in the game. So what I want to do is sort of break this down, because looking at this roster, I feel like there's not enough characters here that should be in the game. And there's a couple of characters that I feel like that could easily be replaced and not needed to bring back from Tenkaichi 3. Because if we're led to believe what the V-Jump pages for Sparking Zero describes, the fact that they're using words like overwhelming number of characters and a super dense lineup will be involved in this game, that's something that seems very ambitious and very promising to believe. So I mean, we've been saying it ever since the very first teaser that there's a lot of expectations riding on this game if it's going to surpass Tenkaichi, the roster that Tenkaichi 3 had. Considering they've been working on this game for 5 years, especially, that's something that's being heavily expected. Especially considering, just to add a bit more to the translation that we have here, the developer's dedication to covering every Dragon Ball character has given players around the world a true becoming the character experience. I don't know if that's just explaining the amount of characters we've had over the years with the Dragon Ball franchise, but that also gives me hope for a lot of characters being playable in this game, from Dragon Ball to Z to GT to Super. Perhaps even Daima is supposedly getting confirmed to have characters from that being involved. So we haven't even got much information from Daima at all yet. Just the trailer we had of them of the characters being kids. But there is more indication of GT being involved still, Dragon Ball being involved still. So hopefully we could get a gigantic roster of characters in this game, more so than what Xenoverse 2 had and what, like I said, Tenkaichi 3 had. So to get down to the roster, breaking down Penica's own personal wish list, or prediction wish list, I should say. I can see that each sort of franchise of Dragon Ball has been color-coded, which is very clever. So that's kind of a neat idea and easy to sort of like point out as well. Sort of pinpoint which characters from which series of Dragon Ball. So to start off, Dragon Ball is the obvious choice. Now, Dragon Ball in Tenkaichi 3, in my opinion, wasn't adapted that well. If I do say so, in my opinion, none of the important battles were adapted, apart from like King Piccolo, obviously, and General Tao, I guess, of course. But the fight with Riley was I just didn't think was needed. The fight with Nam, maybe, I guess was okay. But if I'm being honest, looking at this roster, I would take away General Blue. I don't think he's that important of a character to be on the roster, as well as Rayleigh. If I'm being honest, what I remember from Dragon Ball is its first couple of arcs before it ever reached the Red Ribbon Army, when Goku meets Bulma and Krillin for the first time. and then going on to the first world tournament, stuff like that. That's as far as I remember, with the Great 8 being involved and stuff. I don't remember watching much of the Red Ribbon Army arc, so I can't really. So my opinion is probably going to be quite biased here, because I don't know if General Blue had that much of a role in the show. It's been a long time since I've watched Dragon Ball, so I have glimpses here and there for Dragon Ball. I only remember the 23rd World Tournament, obviously, a bit of like the tournament before that with Tien and Yamcha, where they fought Tien for the first time. I guess when that led into King Piccolo. Those are the arcs I remember. The Red Ribbon Army arc, not so much for some reason. And I feel like General Blue just kind of isn't needed. I just don't think he's that special character. I just feel like there's better characters. Teen Chi-Chi, a definite yes. I'd rather her than Kid Chi-Chi. I thought Kid Chi-Chi in Tenkaichi 3 was a bit of a weird choice, when Teen Chi-Chi made the most sense. Considering she was in Super Dragon Ball Z, and she was quite a cool character to play as in that game. So definitely Teen Chi-Chi, I think, should add a nice dynamic to the game. Be something a bit new to play as well. Teen Goku, definitely. Teen Goku can easily be its own character alone, because he's a lot more sleeker. Because there's a difference with him. He kind of fights a little bit differently. He doesn't really fly as much in that tournament. He's quite jumpy, quite like hovery. He's a lot more like karate sort of thing. The way he sort of like fights. So I feel like he might have a slightly different fighting style compared to our main Goku we know and love. So I feel like he's gonna be, in a way, I feel like Kid Goku, Teen Goku, and main Goku will be its new early, mid, and end Goku. I feel like that's something I want to get down to later when it comes to early, mid, and end versions of the characters that I don't think I needed, because there's something about Raging Blast I want to compare with. But Kid Goku, Teen Goku, and Adult Goku I think could work as three of its own separate characters. Master Roshi, of course, he needs to stay there. Kid Krillin is a good idea. Kid Krillin is, there's definitely a difference between Kid Krillin and main Krillin. Kid Krillin is distinctively a lot shorter. You could definitely tell a difference of him. Could probably be a lot slower to fight with, maybe. And obviously you got King Piccolo and Piccolo Jr., main Piccolo basically. So Teen Piccolo basically. He's definitely could add he could definitely be his own variant, because he turns giant. He's the only Piccolo we know that turns giant, because he doesn't turn giant in the later series, apart from Superhero, but we get into that later. But I'd say to replace General Blue, I mean, it's weird that General Tao's not on here. Hopefully I think General Tao makes the most sense to be included. Perhaps, and obviously I feel like Tien could work because of his different moveset with the forearms. So I reckon he could be involved, and Tien's Master as well, especially. Tien's Master could probably be a cool character to play as. So for Dragon Ball, that could work. Perhaps young Yamcha as well, like when Goku first met Yamcha in the desert. He could possibly play differently then, but his look could easily be a costume for main Yamcha, I guess, like he was in Tenkaichi 3. So especially in the Tenkaichi 4 fan game, he's like that. So but hopefully with the Dragon Ball story, they'll adapt some of the best fights, mainly probably more of the tournament fights, I guess, as the years went on, and the main Piccolo fights and General Tao fights. Just adapt that in more detail, more than how the way Tenkaichi 3 handled it could have been way better. So hopefully Sparking Zero will deliver that. But to be honest, I feel like other than those other characters I mentioned, the Dragon Ball roster we know it's probably going to be a small roster for Dragon Ball. So it's not too bad. I mean, not even Android 8 is on here, and I'm not really fussed about Android 8. Android 8, General Blue, and Aurelie are not characters I played as much as a kid. So I'd rather they put more important characters like General Tao, because he's just I don't know, there's more interesting dialogue with him and Goku. I don't know, those are the characters I'm going with for Dragon Ball. That's my sort of wishlist for Dragon Ball. Now, moving on to Z. Of course, we've got Goku, we've got Piccolo, we've got Kid Gohan, and the Saiyans, and the Ginyu Force, etc. Going back on the whole early, mid, and end variants of the characters. Now, I think just for the sake of saving character slots, I think they're going to get rid of the whole early, mid, and end variants of the characters. And I think that would work better, because what they could do, considering that this game sort of reminds me of Raging Blast as well as the Tenkaichi games, because Raging Blast, it in a way was a variant of the Tenkaichi games, just with less characters as what we like to call Dragon Ball Tenkaichi Light or something like that, but something along those lines. That's what the Raging Blast series was to me, basically. What was clever with the Raging Blast series, instead of adding different variants of the characters just for the sake of them feeling different, instead of them doing variants for each character that was in a certain arc as they developed, what they did was keep one variant of the character, but have the movesets be its custom, basically. So if you want to do an early Goku custom, that's its own moveset there, with Kaioken, finish and attack, the original Spirit Bomb, and the original Kamehameha. So that's something I loved about Raging Blast, is that you could easily make your own early, mid, and end versions of the characters from Tenkaichi 3, but as movesets, because there was 4 or 5 different customs you could do in the Raging Blast series. I think they should keep that option of sorting through your movesets to create your own variants of the characters, basically. Same with Piccolo. Rather than having Piccolo early and Piccolo end as he was in Tenkaichi 3, in the Raging Blast series they had one version of Piccolo but had all his movesets as the series went on. So early Piccolo, you have his Special Beam Cannon, his ultimate attack, you have his Demon Destructive Wave, and that's your one custom for Piccolo there. That's Piccolo early there, already done for you, that you get to put together. And then if you want to have Piccolo's other moves, creative Piccolo end, you have his Light Grenade, you have his Hell Zone Grenade, stuff like that. So having the idea of having all these movesets to play with to create the custom variants of the characters from each arc, I think they should keep that, and that could work so well in this game, just to save character slots, and it could make room for experimentation with movesets. So, because I'd imagine the idea of creating custom characters is going to still be a thing in this, creating your custom movesets, custom Potara earrings, stuff like that, just to bump up your character. Hopefully the way the Raging Blast series did it is what's being kept. Looking at this game, Tenkaichi 3 and Raging Blast has a heavy influence mixed together into this game. So that's my prediction, hopefully, for this game. But moving on, I kind of ranted there, but moving on, that's what I kind of wanted to get out of my head. So Ginyu Force, definitely. The Frieza, of course. Now, I'm not going to include forms in this roster. I'm going to sort of say that. I'm going to save that towards the end. But for argument's sake, Frieza. We've got King Cold. I'd love King Cold to come back. Future Trunks is obvious. Mecha Frieza is obvious. Dr. Gero, Android 19. Yeah, makes sense. And the rest of the androids, 16, 17, and 18. Cell, first form. Most likely going to have his second and perfect forms. Cell Jr. most likely going to be kept. Kibito Kai could still be a character kept from Tenkaichi 3, but not really. I mean, nah. Do you know what? Yeah, keep Kibito Kai. He can still be an important character. Dabura definitely 100% kept. I hope that there's a story adaptation with him and Gohan. I feel like that's not something they've done before in the old games. Majin Buu. I mean, I kind of find it weird that Super Buu and Kid Buu aren't included in this. I don't know if opening Majin Buu opens them up too. I don't know, as like separate forms, but I would class Super Buu and Kid Buu as their own characters anyway, because they sort of act differently from Fat Majin Buu, basically. Oob, definitely. I'll be surprised if he's even in it again. But if they're adding characters if they're keeping characters from the old games to make up for the overwhelming number of characters, then I assume Oob would be kept. Bardock, definitely. There's no way there's no way Bardock's just not going to be in it. Hopefully his Super Saiyan form will be in it. That'd be really cool, because they kept him for They had his Super Saiyan form for Xenoverse 2 and Fighters as a little dynamic cutscene. That would have been really cool. So hopefully they keep his Super Saiyan form in this. Would have been really nice. Broly, of course. Hopefully, I mean, for the sake of like new Broly now, I wonder if original Broly is going to be kept. I assume so, because there's still a lot of fans that like original Broly. Turles, definitely, yes. I would love Turles to be kept. Cooler and Meta Cooler, obviously. Vegeta, obviously. There's still some movie villains missing here. I'll get on to in a sec. Videl, yes. We know Hercules being kept, or Mr. Satan's being kept, as we saw a V-jump screenshot of him doing well, he's in the trailer. He's in the trailer itself, pretty much. But there was also a V-jump scan of him doing his present explosion move set. So good to know that's coming back. He's gonna be really fun to play in that game again. Tapion, yes, which means Hirudegon should be in this too, which makes me wonder if Giants would be in this game still. Janemba, of course. Gogeta, of course. Now, before we move on to GT, I just want to sort of cover Z again. Now, there's a lot of movie characters in this. Now, in total, with this whole list, there's basically 100 characters here that I've counted. Or more, just about 100 characters. Now, I feel like there's character rosters kind of been cut in half here, and I get it, just to sort of make room for what super characters are going to be in this game. If they're going to cover the whole of Tournament Power, most likely. But movie villains, I want kept. I know Garlic Jr. wasn't that much of a popular character, but I still think he would be a cool character to play as. I always loved the idea of Garlic Jr. I don't know why. I thought it was a really cool movie villain. I hope that gets adapted properly in this game, because they kind of didn't really cover that in Tenkaichi 3, only when it was the series version of the arc where Gohan fought him. So I'm hoping they actually do the Dead Zone movie adaptation with hopefully his minions being included in this game. Spice. Oh, I actually can't remember their names. I really don't. You know who I mean. Garlic Jr.'s first crew in the Dead Zone film. Could that be a nice addition to the roster? But yeah, hopefully Garlic Jr. is kept. Dr. Wheelo, 100% I really want kept, just for the sake of Giants being kept. Because I actually do not see, apart from Cell Max, a single Giant in this roster, which is very weird. So that's something I want to get into in a minute. We know Turtle's being kept. Cooler. Now, Bojack needs to be kept in this. Basically, all the movie villains. Bojack, Android 13, as well as 14 and 15, because they were in the Raging Blast series. Zanya, most likely, is probably one of Bojack's crew, the main member of Bojack's crew being kept. Hopefully, his other crew members would be in it. I doubt it. But hopefully, Cooler's Armored Squadron would be in it, because they were in Raging Blast too. So it'd be nice just to sort of keep that number of characters in there. I doubt they'll cover the Bio Broly movie. Bio Broly would be a nice new addition to the series. I know he's like the least favourite Broly to people, obviously, but he'd make a good Giant fight. So Bio Broly's on my wish list. Giant Janemba, I don't know why he's not on this wish list, as he was in Tenkaichi 3. So he's quite an important version of Janemba to play into. I mean, they could easily skip that part of the fight and just adapt the Gogeta Janemba fight. Well, Super Saiyan 3 Goku versus Final Form Janemba, but no, I kind of liked Giant Janemba and how it leads up to Final Form Janemba. So I'm hoping his first form gets kept, as well as Hirudegon. I don't see Hirudegon here, and if Tapion's going to be in it, Hirudegon's got to be in it, you know. So kind of find it weird that he's kind of left out here. It'd be nice if his first form was in it, I guess, but I get his first form's not really needed. But hopefully I just think he'll look really epic in this game. Most of these characters are going to look so epic in this game, especially with the way the art style is being presented in this. So hopefully all the movie villains are kept, pretty much. That's what I'm hoping for, not just some of the movie villains. But before I move on to GT, just to cover a bit more of Z, I don't see Future Gohan should be on this list. Don't know why he's not on there. It just feels wrong to not have Future Gohan in this for some reason. Like, hopefully Pui and Yakon are playable characters too. That'd be quite nice. I mean, I've even seen that some people want to see Bonyu. Is it Bonyu? One of the other. It was a new Ginyu Force member from DragonBall Z Kakarot. I could see her be included in this, since would still be a nice addition to the game. So hopefully her and that she might have some interesting dialogue against the Ginyu Force. So that'd be really cool. Android 21, I've seen that people would like to see Android 21 come back. She was quite a cool character to play as in Fighters, and she's been in kind of almost everything lately. Xenoverse, Dragon Ball Heroes, even Kakarot. So hopefully we'll see her come back in this. Hopefully they'll have her perfect Cell look as well. I'd love that to be a variant, like a costume of hers to wear. That'd be really cool, because I think she looked really cool with Cell's patterns on her. So definitely Android 21 is making it on my wish list for Z. Well, more like Super, I guess. Moving on to GT. GT's sort of obvious. Baby Vegeta, Super 17, and Omega Shenron. They're your main villains right there for GT that you know are going to get kept and adapted. So hopefully they do Super 17's story justice this time, because Tenkaichi 3's one was kind of lazy, if I'm being honest. I like the way that Tenkaichi 4 fan game has done it, where GT Vegeta fights him first and then Goku comes in to fight him, and they're actually sort of in the area that they sort of fight in. I hope that the stage from Xenoverse 2 they had him fight him in would be really cool, with all the trees that sort of go up into the sky. That'd be really cool to be kept in as a stage. So Baby Vegeta on Planet Tuffle especially, that'd be really nice. But going on to the other villains, definitely Ice Shenron. Thought it was weird that they didn't have him in Tenkaichi 3 originally, which is why another reason I like the Tenkaichi 4 fan game, because they actually do the story for that, for Ice Shenron. Nova Shenron obviously as well. Nova Shenron be kept as well. But I wouldn't mind a couple extra dragons. I feel like Oceanic Shenron. I think that's her name. I keep getting confused which Shenron's which. I think she might be okay to do. Her powers would be quite cool to use against a character. So I don't see why they can't add a couple more dragons. I know the rest of the dragons from out of these three weren't the best, but it just again adds a bit more addition of characters, and just could add something new to the story to be adapted. So she'd be my other main dragon to add, as well as General Rildo. Rildo was just to add a bit more to the baby arc, just to lead up to that arc. General Rildo and was it Ledric? Is it Ledric? I don't know what that character's name is. I can't remember his name. His fight with Goku was pretty cool. It was short, but it could still be a cool fight to play as. Just gives us a bit more GT characters to play as, really. GT Vegeta makes sense to be involved. Pan makes sense to be involved, which makes me want. I mean, GT Trunks should even be on here, just for the sake of Pan, Goku, and GT Trunks. So he could probably be a variant of Future Trunks as like a costume, and like have his moveset from GT be a thing as like a custom. But I guess he's not really an important character to have its own slot for. GT Goten, he's still his own character, because we never got to play a GT Goten officially before. So again, if we're led to believe that there's going to be a huge and historic number of characters, this is what I'm predicting here, and just to sort of make up characters, I feel like their limit is at least just over 200, including some forms maybe. I don't know. It's gonna. This roster is just so difficult to sort of break down, because there's a huge number of characters. There's no telling what they're going to keep and get rid of, and what they're going to replace and feel brand new to the game for, you know. So hopefully hopefully that's my sort of prediction for GT. Even GT Gohan, you know. I mean, he could be a variant for adult Gohan. In fact, yeah, I kind of realised not even adult Gohan and teen Gohan are on this roster. Maybe it's a variant for Kid Gohan? I find that really bizarre. Teen Gohan and Adult Gohan should definitely be on this roster. That's very, very weird. So they're definitely going to make the cut, obviously. I mean, unless like Superhero Gohan would be its own like sort of variant for Adult Gohan. That's another thing I can predict. So I mean, moving on to Super, I guess. I feel like Super Goku could easily be his own like custom variant for main Goku, Adult Goku, but in Z. Like I said earlier before, if he has his own movesets that he had in Super, that's already your own variant of Goku there that you can customize. So that's another character slot saved there. Main Goku and Super Goku fight quite almost the same anyway. So same with Saiyan Vegeta. I feel like Saiyan Vegeta kind of could still be his own character. You can still have Z Vegeta be its own variant, but have Super Vegeta, Dragon Ball Super Vegeta, have his moveset from Super and transformations as a custom, basically, for main Vegeta to play around with. So that's another character slot saved there. Oh, mind you, I see Ultimate Gohan here for Super, so I guess he could, like I said, he could still be a variant to sort of pick through. Master Roshi, again, you could get away with him from his Dragon Ball variant, because he kind of fights the same anyway. I mean, mind you, you could have this Master Roshi fight with his bow staff. That could be really cool. If you want to have Dragon Ball Super's version of Master Roshi sort of fight differently, that could be really interesting actually, and have him fight with his bow staff as most of his fighting style, and have Dragon Ball Master Roshi fight like he did as Jackie Chun in the tournament. So that could be a really good, clever way to differentiate Master Roshi. I could see that. Tien, he definitely fights differently, but again, he could be a variant of Z Tien. So Dragon Ball Super Tien could his costume and moveset could be his own variant you could play as and choose from as the same slot. So like I said, Dragon Ball Tien could definitely be his own variant, because he fights differently, especially with his own different moves with the forearms. I mean, well, I don't know. Just for the sake of adding more Dragon Ball characters, have Tien be its own character, because at least then he has a different moveset to the main Tien. Krillin definitely be his Z and Super could be one and the same variant, and another moveset to play with, basically. Obviously, we're obviously going to be expecting a lot of like the Universe 6 characters and the Tournament of Power characters. So we got Kaba, we got Kale, Caulifla, definitely Kefla, of course. Probably their Super Saiyan 2 variants are going to be in this. Champa, I don't expect a lot of the gods to be playable in this, but since he was playable in Xenoverse 2, Champa could easily get kept. Beerus is an obvious one for the sake of Battle of Gods story adaptation. Dragon Ball Super 17 could easily be the same variant as normal Android 17, because you could still play around with his movesets as his own customs. So you got Z Android 17 and Super Android 17. He could easily be his one character, I reckon, and just have his different outfits as different outfits, pretty much. It's like variant outfits, pretty much. For Zamasu, of course, he'd be his own character, or maybe even a transformation that he would do, like obviously a fusion he would do as with Zamasu and Goku Black. Zamasu and Goku Black, definitely their own forms. Hit, of course, 100%. Kid Goten and Trunks, of course, their super versions would fight exactly the same as their Z versions. Gotenks as well. Gogeta, I feel like Gogeta, Super Gogeta and Z Gogeta could slightly fight differently. You could have them be their own sort of one and the same character, but different customs, different transformations. Same with Vegito. You could easily keep them as one slot and play around with their custom moveset. So that I'm predicting. All the trio de dangers, definitely, especially with Bergamo. Is it Bergamo? I think it's Bergamo. And his giant form. Hopefully his giant form will get shown. The two Universe 6 Namekians, I think they'll just add an interesting dynamic to the game. Just to have him go up against Gohan and Piccolo would be really cool. Paragus, now Paragus is an interesting one. I've always wanted Paragus to be playable in a game. I'm not sure if it should be old Paragus, Dragon Ball Super Paragus. I would love him if he'd be part of the movie roster, just to coincide with Z Broly, just because young Paragus looks the best, I guess. You could have old Paragus be a variant you could wear, sort of choose from his customs. That could be really cool. Again, I don't know if all the gods and angels need to be in this, so that's why I don't know how I feel about, I can't remember his name, Jiren's God of Destruction, basically. I don't really see myself playing as that character much, but he still could be fun. Like you could have a few gods, but don't know if it's really needed. Didn't really see him fight much. Top, Dispo, and Jiren were the main three, pretty much. You could add the rest of the troopers just to add more characters. You got so much groups of characters to play with. You can have the Ginyu Force versus all the Pride troopers. That'd be really cool. So not sure about what's his name from Resurrection F. Can't remember his bloody name. Don't know if he needs to be in it, but him being a Ginyu variant might be quite interesting. Not sure about Chi-Lai. Chi-Lai could be playable, but not really needed. Gine, I mean, she could be interesting to play as, because, I mean, if we're going with characters that weren't really needed, but could still be fun to play as, like we had Kid Chi-Chi in the original game. We even had the Pilaf gang's, like, mechanical suits in the original game, so I mean I hope they don't get kept, to be honest. But Gine, I guess, could be okay to have. I hope at least a few. I hope all of Bardock's original crew are in this game, not just Farsha. I didn't like that it was just Farsha in the original game. I would like to play as Tora and Shugesh and Borgos. I can't remember his name. Damn it, I can't remember the other member's name. But all of Bardock's original crew, pretty much, I'd love to be in this game. I feel like Bardock's Dragon Ball Minus outfit could easily be the same variant as Z Bardock, just as a costume. I don't know if he needs his own separate character. Definitely, obviously, Dragon Ball Super Broly. We know he's already in it from the trailer. I don't know if is it Hedo? I think it's Dr. Hedo needs to be in this, but like I said, a lot of characters in Tenkaichi 3 didn't need to be in it, but they were in it anyway, so that could easily be this could easily be a thing. Kid Pan, I could see that could be quite cool because you could have her End of Z outfit be that version as well. That could be quite cool. Teen Goten and Teen Trunks, they could easily be a good fit, especially if they're Super Saiyan variants. That could be quite nice. Would be different. Nice to actually have Teen Goten actually look like almost like End of Z. Again, End of Z outfit for him as well. That could be quite nice. Like I said, Dragon Ball Super Gohan's, well, Superhero Gohan could be his own adult variant to Ultimate Gohan, and well, I'll assume Ultimate Gohan will have his Super Saiyan forms as well. So I feel like that's its own costume alone, because Superhero Gohan turns Ultimate anyway, and he has a slightly different look as Ultimate Gohan. So you could easily have both adult Gohans be one character, I feel like. So Piccolo, you could have Superhero Piccolo be its own character. I can understand that with his like giant, especially with his orange form and giant form. I mean, I guess I could say the same with Gohan's beast form, but yeah, Superhero Gohan and Piccolo here could be a difficult one. They could easily be one character to their Z counterparts, but they could be easily had as their own slots, I guess. Cell Max definitely should be his own slot. Wouldn't it make sense if he was like the same Z Cell? Because it's not Z Cell. It's not. It's its own. It's a different version of Cell, unfortunately. And Cell Max is a giant, so I can't see them not do Cell Max. Giants have to be a thing in this game, surely. If Cell Max was a thing in Xenoverse, he was a giant in that. If Superhero was added in Xenoverse, I can't see why they wouldn't do Superhero in this game too. So I feel like giants are going to be in this thing in the game. It'd be a crime if they weren't a thing in this game. Because what would even be the point? It'd be too much like Vision Blast, because Vision Blast didn't have any giants. So hopefully they'll include Tenkaichi 3 giants. So like Great Ape Vegeta. I would love Great Ape Turles and Raditz to even be a thing. That'd be so cool. They even had Great Ape Bardock be a thing in Xenoverse. So hopefully he's kept. Be really, really cool. Even Great Ape Broly I'd be happy to see. That'd be a nice little addition. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Magenta, not really needed. I don't think he needs to be playable. I don't even remember him being a fighter in the film. Gamma 1 and 2, 100% they'll definitely be in the game. So, but if I had to break down the super characters, I'd say the Resurrection F versions of the characters are fine, because all you have is like Golden Frieza. We know Blue Goku and Vegeta are going to be in it. Frieza's new henchmen in that, and as well as the little dude, I can't remember his name. He possibly could be playable. But for Tournament of Power characters, I feel like Rybrien wouldn't be included. I feel like she might be kept from Xenoverse. Basically almost all the Tournament of Power characters that were involved, at least the main characters that were involved. I'll have it on screen here. And going back on Z as well, I would love Pycon to be kept in this game as well. He was a DLC in Xenoverse as well, so hopefully he'll be kept for this game too. Hopefully that's the wish list I'm sort of going for. There might have been a few characters I missed out that I'd still like to see. Like I said, definitely all the movie villains, all the newer characters like Android 21, Bonyu, more Dragon Ball characters, more dragons for GT, more Rildo and Ledric, I think his name is, from GT. More heroes from GT, pretty much. So, heck, even Guasu for Super would be nice to play as, because he trained with Zamasu. It'd be nice to see a nice little training sequence with those two. So that'd be really nice. Frost even. I don't understand. A bit weird that Frost is even in this, because if they're going to do the Universe 6 tournament, I feel like they wouldn't do... Is it Batamo? I think it's Batamo, the Winnie the Pooh looking character. And Magetto, is it Magetto? The metal robot Vegeta fought? I feel like all the Universe 6 characters from that arc would be a playable character. Because I would love all of Universe 6 to be adapted. That'd be quite cool. So those are the obvious characters they'll be put in for Super as well. Not just Kaba, Kale, and like Caulifla and stuff like that. I know Frost wasn't that much of a loved character, but neither is Caulifla and Kale, and they're going to be put in this. Let's be honest. So definitely those characters. I would like Tarball to be kept in this game, just going back on Z. It'd be nice to see the villains from Yo Goku and his friends return. That'd be a nice little addition to the game, because Tarball is still technically canon. So I'm pretty sure Dragon Ball Super Broly mentions him when Kid Vegeta mentions him. Kid Vegeta would be a nice addition too. Kid Vegeta and young Nappa. I'd love to see that. Don't know if Kid Broly needs to be a thing. Let's not forget Arizana. Is it Arizanya? Zanya? Arizara? I don't. That character that turned giant in Tournament Power before its universe got erased. I'll have it on screen there. That would make a really good giant in that fight, in that arc. So hopefully he gets included. Hopefully a lot of Tournament Power characters will be included, because there is so much more to play with, a lot to experiment with, and it'll make cool adaptations for story content. So let's hope so. And before I end this video, I kind of want to just cover a bit more of the giants and a bit more of the forms. Definitely all the great apes that were in the original games come back. Well, not all of them. Maybe they can get rid of a few that aren't really needed, like Turles and Raditz and Nappa and stuff like that. Just the main ones, like Vegeta. Bardock was in Xenoverse. I feel like you could keep Bardock if he was in Xenoverse. Kid Gohan and Kid Goku is basically going to be its own great ape on its own. Great Ape Baby, obviously. I want Great Ape Baby to come back, because Great Ape Baby looks the best. I'd love Golden Great Ape to be a thing for GT Goku. That'd be great. Be a really nice little story adaptation before he turns Super Saiyan 4. Same for GT Vegeta. I don't know. I mean, again, I love the rest of the dragons to be in it, just for the sake of their giant fights. Their giant fights would be quite cool. Just opens a lot more opportunities there. Just a lot more to experiment with and really feel new. Really feel like a successor to Tenkaichi 3. If this is going to be like a true Tenkaichi 4, it's got to add more new stuff to it. That's how it's got to be, I feel like, you know? Don't just use Super as its new content to play around with. Add a bit more that weren't adapted in the original game, you know? Like, just add a bit more detail to that story. Hopefully What If mode returns as well. Just looking back at this roster again, not even King Vegeta is on this. I want King Vegeta to still be kept. I mean, he'd easily still be kept because he's in Dragon Ball Super Broly. You could have him be a variant of his original costume. That'd be quite cool. They're the two versions of King Vegeta you could wear right there. I'd love to have him against Tarball just for interesting dialogue for the sake of it. That'd be really nice. That'd be really cool. So hopefully that arc gets adapted. Most of the Tournament Power gets adapted. That's plenty of characters there, even without mentioning forms there, apart from Great Apes. Dr. Rilo I want kept. Giant Piccolo I definitely want. Maybe give Giant Piccolo to Demon King Piccolo as well. Give me Giant Nail. Where's Nail on this roster? I would love Nail to come back and be kept. And I would love to fight Pycon on the Otherworld tournament stage. That'd be really cool. I hope they adapt that. It's a lot of wishful thinking I'm doing here, to be fair, guys. But that's my ultimate roster prediction there. I would like to see for this game, pretty much, because I feel like I've included loads of characters that have easily made up to 200 already. And if you include the forms, like the Super Saiyan forms, Frieza's forms, Cooler's forms, Cell's forms, the Universe 6's Namekian Giant forms, there's plenty there that's already gone over 200 characters there. If I've counted correctly there, if I've sort of estimated that right. So hopefully there is an overwhelming number of characters we can play with. I don't know what else to say, guys. That's kind of my wish list for this game. Like I said, hopefully they keep the aspect of Raging Blast where they have all the different movesets to make your own custom variants of the same character to make up for the early, mid, and end versions of the characters, and it gives room, because I really loved all the different movesets you could do for the Raging Blast series. It was really interesting. Add some new movesets. Keep some team attacks. I'd love team attacks to be a thing in this game. Have the team attacks with Goten and Trunks against Bio Broly. That'd be really cool. Team attacks with Goku Black and Zamasu would be really cool to see. Team attacks with some of the Pride Troopers. Who knows? I'd like just more stuff like that. More stuff like that. Before I go overboard, that's another discussion for another day, guys. I just wanted to cover what I wanted for my own personal roster, and hopefully most of it comes true, because I don't think I'm the only one that wants those amount of characters in this game. So with that, I'm going to end this here. So thank you very much for tuning in, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please let me know what characters you like to see in the game yourselves. I would love to hear your thoughts. I would love to hear your wish list as well. Do you agree with my wish list? Are there characters you would like to see instead, other than the ones I pointed out? Are there any characters I missed out that you would like to see yourselves? I feel like I might have missed a few, but there's only so much I can cover in this video, so let me know in the comments below. Drop a like if you enjoyed the video. Take care, guys. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you all next time for more Sparking Zero news. Bye bye.